call this fight. And I'm saying, no.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
His face is saying yes, yes, yes.
Thank you for stopping that. Went on a little longer than it should. Now, I understand you got to give fighters a chance, but listen, I've seen Hassan N'Dam between two fights spread across, about nearly 3 years or so. When he fought Peter Quillen, he was getting knocked all around that ring. About 6 knockdowns in that fight. He fought David Lemieux a few years later, was knocked down about 5 times in that fight. According to Andre Ward, he's been knocked down a total of 17 times in his career. So I think it's clear that Janibek Alimkhanuly, oh man, I'm butchering his name. But yeah, maybe it's time for Hassan N'Dam to hang it up. And I can't believe that he has a win over Ryota Murata, who's going to be taking on Golovkin December the 29th on the Zone. I can't believe it. He's got a win over Ryota Murata, the WBA super champion at 160 pounds, who's going to be taking on IBF champion Gennady Golovkin December the 29th on the Zone. We're watching the Crawford versus Porter pay-per-view on ESPN Plus here. My bad. Janibek Alimkhanuly, and I know I'm probably butchering that. He is now 11-0 with 7 KOs. Kazakhstan, 28-year-old southpaw under the Klimas banner, along with guys like Usyk, Loma. He's got that win over Rob Brandt, biggest win of his career. You know, Hassan N'Dam, do you view him, by the way, here's the punch stats, pause it if you have to. Do you view Hassan N'Dam as being like a gatekeeper? I think he's below a gatekeeper, to be honest. Like, he's just a journeyman at this point in time in his career, right? You know, you don't really get no stripes, like really fighting him unless you need like a name, you know, to fight that doesn't really lead to nothing. You see what I'm saying? But this Janibek is creeping up on a WBO title shot at 160 pounds. And because of his affiliation with Top Rank, here, let's go look at him real quick on my beautiful website, FightView360.com. Our rankings are updated monthly in accordance with the sanctioning bodies. You know, so all the sanctioning bodies don't update their rankings at the same time, so it may be a little off a little bit, but nonetheless, every month, each sanctioning body ranking is updated. Canelo was listed as a WBC franchise champion, but let's be honest, Canelo ain't never moving back down to 160 for anyone. Anyone that wants to fight him at 160 from 160 has to likely move up to where he says move up to. He's going to be fighting a younger Makabu in May of 2022, chasing a 5th division title at cruiserweight. I'm kind of glad Chinook is not here. I'm not a fan of Mark Chinook. Shout out to Jimmy Lennon for getting some work on the other side of the street.
Stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout and still the undefeated champion, Janibek, Kazakh style, Alimkhanuly.
Alimkhanuly.
So Alimkhanuly now 11-0, 7 knockouts. We'll see where his next step takes him at 160 pounds. Speaking of 160 pounds, let's look at the tail of the bet in our title eliminator. Brought to you by DraftKings. You can download the DraftKings Sport.
Well, they're not going to give him a post-fight interview either. Come on, ESPN, you slacking. Where's Bernardo? So here's the rankings. Demetrius Anjay fought last night, as you can see. Alimkhanuly is ranked number 2. Munguia number 1, former WBO champion. So he is right now the mandatory, but it seems as though Jaime Munguia wants to do other things before he actually fights for a title against Jamal Charlo or Demetrius Andrade. As you can see, he's ranked number 1 by both organizations. Alimkhanuly is number 2 by the WBO. Number 9 by the IBF. He is not ranked by the WBA, and he is number 4 by the WBC. So where does he go next? Maybe this right here, these two in an eliminator. Remember, he's fighting next against Patrice Volney. and they're under the same banner. You know, or you think that Top Rank, you know, and their teams will try to keep them apart to go after titles other ways and possibly meet up down the line if that's possible. But me personally, I think that they should fight, because unless Alimkhanuly is going to be ordered to fight Jaime Munguia, which I doubt, or unless he's going to be ordered to fight the Chris Eubank Jr., Liam Williams winner, and Liam Williams supposedly pulled out of that fight. You know, even Alimkhanuly versus Soluski, I would, you know, accept. But remember, they can't really bullshit around with him too much because, you know, as you can see, he's 28 years old. You know, I believe they said on the broadcast he has an amateur record of about 300 wins with 8 losses. Now, according to BoxRec, let's see if it's any notable names outside of professional. I see he's got a win over Ant Fowler here in the amateurs, according to BoxRec, what's available on BoxRec. Who else? Just names that I know. I don't see any other names. Jason Quigley, Ant Fowler again. And those are the only names I know off the top of my head, according to what's available on BoxRec. But as it stands right now, as we talked about, he is 11-0 with 7 KOs. And frankly, even though the fight got stopped, you know, and he needed a stoppage, he didn't want to go the distance with Hassan N'Dam, especially with the way N'Dam was getting beat up. And also, he did point out that maybe he did hurt his hand, or the broadcast pointed out that maybe he hurt his hand in between one of the earlier rounds. But I'm going to go ahead and say I still haven't seen enough to be able to think like, okay, he can beat a Demetrius Andrade, he can beat a Golovkin, you know, or he can beat a Murata. You know, so right now, you know, still on the fence. Haven't seen enough yet. I'm T Street Controversy with Fight V360. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. We cover every single major pay-per-view event live and uncut, including fucking Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin. It's going to be on PBC on Fox pay-per-view January the 1st for $39.99. Hell of a way to start the year. Take your time out. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. Also, down below in the description box, the WBC app, powered by the Vive Network for Roku, Android, Apple, and follow me on Twitter at T Street Controversy and on Instagram. Thanks for watching.